Welcome to Common Mansplaining, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is Eddie here with Common Mansplaining. Christian actually was just here like 5 seconds ago. Here he is. Here he just came back.
Sorry.
He was just here seconds ago, and then he just disappeared. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
But
sorry about that.
that's all right. That's he just leaves me hanging. It's no big deal. But
You're really
wait.
quiet. Should I leave and come back? Am I coming through loud and clear?
I can hear you loud and clear. You can't hear me?
Okay. You're just a little quiet to me.
That
Let me
sounds-
just double check that it's coming through fine on the
Sure.
feed really quick.
Yeah, I was able to hear
testing.
myself. I was able to hear myself on another one, so I actually just had to silence it.
Oh yeah.
So it's
No,
on
you're
your
fine,
side.
Eddie. You're fine.
All right,
Go
beautiful.
ahead.
All right, beautiful.
No,
So
okay.
today we're going to talk about technology, and I know what you're thinking. This is not a technology channel; it's a politics channel. But as most of you know, these things can't be divorced from each other. Technology basically has its spidery webbed fingers in just about every aspect of our lives. And you may think this is not something that affects the common man on a day-to-day basis. It is. From the dawn of time, from the days of harnessing the first horse to invention of the wheel to the invention of the bow and arrow to castles to cars to space travel to TV, you name it, like entertainment, everything. Like, so technology is in every part of our lives. And today we're going to go over a lot of things that are coming out and that are going to hit the scene relatively soon, and how they will affect our lives, and a couple of things that are kind of out right now that are going to affect our lives in weird ways. But to kick us off, Christian, why don't you give us like a blurb on some of the recent technological?
I mean, we won't go way back, but again, technology has usually been a race to try to be improve on something that the other guy's doing. It's been a competitive thing, and to take curiosities and apply them, right? Warfare is usually the crucible that has pushed that forward. And in that way, the modern computers were invented during World War II as a way to break Nazi codes.
Yep.
Right, the Turing machine. And so really the modern computing technology is what's reshaping our world. Right. In the
Definitely.
60s, you had widespread computer technologies, but they were computers that could fill rooms still. People in white jackets, very professional people use these things. They were not for home use. They were sort of cloaked in mystery and lore.
I still remember the days when I
so
got
in
my
the
first
70s was when the 70s is when personal computing, people got their hands on this. The Apple created their first personal computer that some people could have in their home, which was originally just for hobbyists. But then they made one that was, had a keyboard and a screen and could run some software, and people started using it. And then IBM, International Business Machines, right? They realized this. They made big computers for big companies. Realized this home computing market was important, and they got into it in the mid '80s. And launched that gave a legitimacy. This wasn't just for geeks or for hobbyists. This was real business.
Everybody.
Right? And so then IBM entered, and then people copied IBM. And then all of a sudden, right, by 1990, everybody had a computer in their home.
Yep.
Right.
Except my dad.
And right. And this has brought about the rise of household names that we know, like Microsoft,
Cisco,
Dell computers, Apple computers, right? Obviously, and then the internet, and the big internet companies and the personal computing. But along the way, like the hardware that all this runs on is also very important. It may be unsexy, and maybe people don't pay much attention to it, but this hardware was always constantly improving, right? From a computer that was the size of a room to a computer that was the size of a washing machine to a computer that could sit on a desk to computers that were laptop that were portable, right?
Yep.
And these microchips, so they even sort of had a thing of how this technology kept getting faster and smaller, and it was like traceable on a calculus line.
Yeah, it's called Moore's Law.
Right, those kind of hardware makers, Intel is the one that dates back to the 60s, is the big, but there have been some innovators. One of them, right now, the biggest company in the world you might not know about, most valuable as far as market cap in the United States, is NVIDIA.
Yep.
Started in 1993, which is not that old, right?
Right.
Microsoft started in the 70s. But in 1993, they started, and they wanted to improve graphics technology. Right? And really their first chip was in 99. They merged with their competitor 3DFX to create the first true graphics processing unit. Now this, again, the common man might just think this is something for geeks that play computer games, but it was the first time you could offload graphics processing from the main CPU to a separate unit. And I said that was a really funny ad. If you Google it, 3DFX commercial.
Let me see if I can. I'll post it to Eddie.
I wish we could show it, but it's
it's
on YouTube.
I'll post the link.
Yeah, he'll post the link. Yeah. But basically saying, with all this new power, what can we do with it? Oh, well, we can play games. And this was, like with a lot of technology, the first market that they had to do to make this sustainable were the gamers, the people that they would buy this and support it. They were hungry for a GPU.
Yeah.
But that GPU technology, right, was always improving. And by 2006, they started to branch out and use it for not just gaming, but for other applications. And by 2012, they were showing that it could be part of the early AI revolution. 2018, the first, they called them the RTX chips, was the first where you had real-time ray tracing in a home PC computer off a GPU. Really unbelievably powerful.
Yeah.
And then ultimately they used this technology that they were doing. Their chips became so sophisticated that they are the basis for all the AI, the highest end, the best AI out there are run on NVIDIA's architecture, their hardware. Like just a couple of little anecdotes. Like when I was in college, my college had a computer animation studio. I had a friend who was in that program, and they all had these latest like silicon graphics machines that were like $50,000 a piece. The students were on, right? And they had between 500 megabytes and 1 gigabyte of RAM.
Yeah, I remember this.
Right?
Yep.
And they would build their computer animation, and then like to render a 5-second scene was like 5-6 hours.
That was good stuff back then. That was like top of the line. That was like
and then really by in 1999 the school got a supercomputer that could do these renderings instead of 5 hours, 45 minutes. That supercomputer, right, is less powerful than a phone we're walking around with.
Yeah, absolutely.
But but this is right, how things, memory and power has expanded and that. So obviously we're going to talk about AI, but NVIDIA has risen from being a very modest company that almost fell apart to the most valuable company in the world, whether you know it or not. And their competitors, maybe you know NVIDIA because they're maybe a little sexier, but their competitors, Qualcomm, Broadcom, Micron, and Intel, are every bit as influential and every bit a part of this drive.
Definitely.
Now, another big thing that, as far as elites go, what allows NVIDIA to make the best chips of all is there's a company out of Holland that makes the most expensive machine in the world.
ASML.
$400 million. Vertasium has a good thing on it, but it's essentially to make chips at the level we make them now, high tech. Requires some lithography. I don't want to get too into the weeds.
Yeah. By the way,
very, very complex. And one of their biggest fears is that China will hack this system. Right now, it's controlled by the West, right? But the China is trying to rip off this technology.
Yeah. By the way,
so anyway, those are and right now, right. So that's a little bit of the history. Right now, yes, NVIDIA is poised to explode and be
definitely. Well, I was
to
just going to say, I'm not a financial guru. Don't take my words as financial advice. But that company, I think it's ASML or whatever in the Netherlands. It's the next thing. Like, get it. I'm just saying. All right. But yeah,
we can talk about this stuff when we get into it. But that's the current climate. I mean, obviously, CES, there's gadgets and there's different sort of fun technology that we can use in our lives. But I think this is a big issue because it's going to relate to energy consumption.
Oh yeah.
Like for a long time, we were talking about climate change and trying to reduce our energy footprint, and even like closing down power plants and stuff. And we don't need as much power. That has all changed.
Oh yeah.
Bill Gates has come out and saying, really, we need to be working on the human condition. He's not on climate change, because to power AI with what they want to do is going to require a lot more electricity. And if they use the existing grids, it's going to drive the common man's electric prices through the roof. That's the number one fear that I have. Like, if we don't start loosening regulations to make new power sources available, they're going to drive up the rates for the common man. And somebody who has no concern, no care about AI, just wants to have his lights on and his helm heated, is going to get soaked. So now is the time that we really need government policy to account and start, allowing this to happen, so they can build in the infrastructure they need.
Yeah, I would go one step further. I would just say, let's get rid of AI altogether. Now, everybody knows that that AI is my boogaboo, but no, definitely, energy is the next bottleneck for AI development. Now, I know that. I guess we can jump straight to energy development. And there's some things that are coming down the pipeline, which, knock on wood, hopefully help. Right. And they're all relatively clean items. Right. So, like, of course, the complaints of the climate change guys who are overblown anyway. But even the ones that are valid don't really have to worry about these so much. The big one is fusion. Right. And fusion, for as long as I can remember, has been something that's always been 20 years away. Right.
Just out of reach.
Just out of reach. Yeah. But I get the sense that it's now, like, more immediately just out of reach, right? Like, I'm guessing within 5 to 10 years, we'll have an active fusion industrial plant that will distribute energy to, like, actual people, like to residences and stuff like that. When that happens, in theory, they call it like free limitless energy, our own sun. Now, I think that's narrative garbage too. I think that I doubt very seriously. I mean, there's still going to be people that have to go to this fusion plant to work at it. It's not going to be free. You're still going to have to pay for it. The common man is, and even if it actually is like free limitless energy, they're going to charge us anyway, right? Like, that's just what they do to the common man. I mean, there's no reason to give us something for free when we perceive the value of energy as, whatever, $100 a week, a month, $200 a month, whatever. Right. So that's one of the big ones.
But that has been a big key towards America's explosion in the 20th century, was that we had energy widely available, not just in New York or in the hands of elites, widely available in farms, at places all across the country, at affordable rates, really cheap, kind of plentiful power. And so getting back to that, I think we'll just, once we have that, can really launch.
Yeah, it'll be huge. And especially because I feel like the way the terrain of the world is shifting, it's like people are going from, especially because of the way robotics is going to come in and like take a lot of jobs and shift things around. People are going to move to like more individual projects, right? Especially being backed by AI. People are going to learn how to like use AI themselves. They're going to use, be able to buy their own personal assistant robot. They're basically going to be able to be a company in and of themselves. Each person could be an island. And when, energy is just as plentiful as it can be, then you'll have the industrial power at your fingertips. Any industrial boom, you know, and I truly hope that goes worldwide. I hope it's not just America, right? Like we seem to be ahead of the curve, but I want, you know, Africa to have plentiful energy. I want, you know, Middle East to have plentiful energy.
But we as Americans or as a common man can't, right? We, of course, we hope for that. We can't create that. We have to respect their sovereignty. But and obviously and capitalism, capitalists have to do this, but the America has to create a structure where somebody can go in and do this and have the certainty that they can
get money from,
be allowed to succeed. The government's not going to hold them back or restrict them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, people miss that a lot in capitalism. I mean, a lot of these innovations, they just don't happen without capitalism. Like they really don't. Like people think it's like, oh, well, the government will fund it. But then the problem is like you just will run into situations like, you know how much money it costs to develop fusion? Like it's outrageous. It's like billions and millions, trillions of dollars. And then like, you know, you can't just put that on a P&L sheet and be like, guys, guess what? We're going to triple your taxes this year, but don't worry, it's for fusion. You know, like nobody's going to go for that. So you have to have capitalism. You have to have an incentivization process. And it is what it is. So that's one big energy development. There's a lot of things that are happening with like energy conversion that are going to be really big, right? Like, so for example, one reason that fusion is so hard to get to like work now is because even if you were to ever actually create a reaction that like produces positive energy, like net energy, then you then have to take that energy and then move it to a house, to a plant, to whatever.
Yeah, so convert it to AC energy, yeah.
Right. And so like, you know, that conversion process is also seeing lots of breakthroughs and especially like in the other ways that we get energy, there's a lot of breakthroughs, like solar energy has that new material. What is it called? Perovskite or something. I don't know if I'm saying it right.
Yeah. Well, right. What Elon Musk has talked about putting solar arrays in space.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Right. And then a solar array in space could then use microwaves to transmit that electricity down to Earth,
lasers.
right? Because solar actually operates a lot better when it's cool, right? So obviously space, the heat can vent off, but when it's in the sun, like it's obviously, I don't know, there's tech concerns about it, but he thinks solar, the future of solar is to put arrays in space.
I mean, now one of the things there is like, I'm wondering if they're going to, you put enough stuff around the earth and it gets crowded, you know, like, and there's all these like, you know, conspiracy, doom and gloom, you know, things about like, if you have too many things there, you know, there's just one thing is going to hit something and then it's going to like just start, all the pieces are going to fly and they're going to hit other things.
That's why if you put it in geosynchronous orbit, I mean, it's farther out.
Yeah. Knock on wood.
It moves the speed of the earth.
Right. But what happens if,
it's like 25,000 miles out. Right? So imagine if the Earth was 20,000 miles bigger.
Yeah, the only problem
is like,
let's say it gets hit by a comet, right, or a meteor or something. Like, let's say just accidentally one of them blows up. Then it shoots 500 pieces in random direction. One of them strikes another satellite, and then that blow. You know, hopefully it doesn't happen.
The plot of gravity.
Right. So yeah, that's a big another big one that's coming in is hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. That's going to be an interesting one because it is clean and it's supposedly just as efficient, if not more efficient than gasoline. And, you know, eventually once they get it off the ground. Now, here's my question. I'm wondering how much resistance we're going to see to some of these innovations, because I've been told like, you know, that we have some of these, you know, infinite energy devices. We've had them for years and years, and that, you know, men in black suits show up and then there's people like, you know, mysteriously die of a heart attack the next day. And you know, I don't know how much credit to give that, but I don't know if the old like tech gasoline companies are going to be like, okay, we'll just no longer use gas.
Well, they would have the money to purchase large interests in,
I hope so,
in this, and they like to diversify on that. But here's part of the thing is gasoline, and that's a big thing. Gasoline, as long as we're given freedom, as long as the government is not putting their thumb on the scale, will still be around for a long time. Right?
Yes.
There's certain things. One of the big things is oil. Oil refining has so much value, like for plastics, for medicines, for all kinds of stuff. Gasoline, you have to remember, was a byproduct. was the thing they had no use for. They were dumping this in rivers because it was a waste gas. So they found a way to use something like they could make use of almost everything else except gasoline. Right? It was too volatile. And so it's like, oh well, let's run cars off it because it's a garbage gas, a waste gas. It's
Might as
a
well.
product we have now. So oil refining is still going to go on. So you're still going to have gasoline. And you're always good, and you should. And I fully support, even though electric cars are the future, giving people that choice. If they want to go analog, they don't want to have something that's high tech, right? They want something that simple, a motor driven, gasoline powered car that they should be allowed to do that.
Absolutely,
right? You're getting reactions. There's so much high tech in our life that people are sort of backlashing a little bit, choosing. Right, like in cars, to have a car that's analog, has a manual transmission.
I want one because when AI takes over the world, I mean, there's already cars right now that literally, cops, because of technology, cops can like literally stop your car, right? If they're pulling you over, they can order your car to stop. The moment AI has control, they just run you off a cliff or something. Like I'm paranoid about this, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I do want to, I like that Valeria is talking about nanotech. We can talk about some of the medical advancements that are coming out, and the big thing.
I want to talk really quickly while we're still on electric cars.
Sure.
Is that the boundary? The next big tech jump for electric cars is obviously batteries.
Yeah.
Right? Battery technology and development. And this is the thing. So my father-in-law, he's a physics professor, and he's been studying a thing called graphene for 20 years. Oh, yeah.
Graphene is insane.
You know about graphene?
Yeah.
So graphene is a very interesting product. It's one layer thick of carbon atoms, hyperconductor. So they've developed it in labs 20 years ago. The whole process has been towards getting it to a place where it can be produced, manufactured, and have real customer application.
Yeah.
Because then you can have batteries that are cheaper, just made of carbon, not expensive metals like lithium or cobalt, or dangerous metals like lead, dangerous acids. They'll charge faster, they'll have greater longevity, things like this. Yep. So there's a company, he says, we shall buy into that is just $2 a share right now, that is finally, ready to start manufacturing graphene for applications, things like that. So that's the next thing for electric cars, for us to really live with them the way we want to live with them. It's for their batteries to take the next big leap and be cheaper, so that the common man can really afford them and not be worried so much about, like, if we could have. Anyway, so that's we're right on the precipice now, but it looks like that's the next big jump for electric cars.
Graphene, for those of you guys who don't know about graphene is insane. It's like the wonder material. It's like unobtainium. It does everything. Like it's stronger than steel. It's lighter than steel. It's lighter than Kevlar. Like, it's going to replace almost like 95% of the things that you know in society, and it's outrageously available. It's just really expensive to produce right now. But once they have like a system that makes it, cheap and easy to produce, it's going to be like body armor. Cars are going to be made out of it. Spaceships are going to be made out of it. It's the best electrical outlet, like circuitry. It's the best for like everything. It's insane. I when I read about it the first time, I'm like, how is this just better at everything? Like, it's not just like 2 or 3 things. It's like literally, it's like a better plastic than plastic. It's a better steel than steel. It's a better. I'm like, that's insane. That's insane. But anyway, so that's going to supercharge us, and not only that, like the conversion rates again with efficiency, it's a better conductor too. So it like will make it easier for electricity to pass without resistance.
100.
So medical tech. Here's a crazy thing about medical tech, and this is why one of the things that I'm worried about, but also really excited about. We're on the verge, in my opinion, of what I call medical escape velocity, right? What a lot of people call medical escape velocity. And what that means is right now, like from maybe 200 years ago, the average lifespan of a human was, it's like I think 40 or 50 years old or something like that. And over time, as our nutrition improved, our medical tech improved, our ability to deal with diseases and other things improved, our life expectancies gotten bigger and bigger and bigger, at least up until recently in America, because our nutrition has started to suck again. Right. And so as our life expectancy keeps growing, in theory, if you can grow that number faster than a year per year, we're immortal. Right. And now it not necessarily doesn't work out like that perfectly, but in theory, if the average life is growing by a year, by more than a year every year that you live, then in theory you would never run out of time.
I mean, the more interesting thing is to extend your prime.
Yes.
Right. Extend your prime years. Like if you want to extend your 80 plus years, now you live like an 80-year-old till you're 130, you're like, great. But if you can extend your prime, right, from 18 to 75.
Yeah, exactly. And there are two huge advancements that I think will come out in the next 10 to 20 years. I don't know how fast they're coming out, but one of them is this guy in Harvard is working with telomeres. And by the way, I should preface this by saying I'm not a biologist, so I don't know enough about this to like communicate it well. But basically, these telomeres are like these things that, like, as your DNA breaks down over time, and everybody's does, the telomeres are like at the ends of your DNA chain, and they fill in for broken DNA pieces. Now, he can just eventually, though, if you keep on taking pieces off the end of a rope and putting it in the middle, eventually the ends of the rope are gone. You just have no extra rope. Well, he's found a way, he thinks, to just reset the ends of the rope so that you can just, go on living for,
it's powerful.
I don't know.
It's powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. And the next one, the other
you
one.
should call it Aragorn tech. So you can be 81-year-old who can just be like, go out there killing all.
Yeah, God killer, better than most people at his. And the other big one is, it's called, let me see, I wrote it down. It's called, cellular electrical gradient manipulation, right? And so as your body, like when you grow, when you first born, your body has all these stem cells, right? And the stem cells know that this cell is a brain cell, and so it should go to your brain. This cell is a heart cell, should go there. This is a muscle cell. The way that your cells know where to go, a lot of it has to do with this really complex electromagnetic map that your body generates, right? And so the way that one cell knows it needs to move over here is because the electricity is different between the two walls. And so it's like, oh, okay, I got to go this way, right? Now, this guy has been working with reprogramming that map. So he's able to, like, for example, command a frog to grow an extra arm, right? So if you can command a body to just grow things, then you're basically able to regenerate, right? If somebody were to, for heaven forbid, lose an arm in a car accident, you just say, all right, grow it again, right? Which humans normally can't do. Yeah, like jellyfish, we'd be able to just, when you can regenerate at that point, the only thing that kills you is like a massive impact trauma. Like you'd have to fall off a cliff or, something like that. You'd have to be, functionally worthless. We couldn't, no way to put you back together. But those two things, if they actually work the way these scientists are claiming they will eventually, I mean, that has such a profound effect on mankind. I don't even begin to know how to respond, right? Like,
well, we've been chasing cures for disease for a long time, cancer being the big one, but cancer manifests in so many different ways. If cancer was only one form, if it was like just lung cancer or just brain cancer or just liver cancer, right? But it's all over the place. And so we're trying to stop it. And there's been a lot of breakthroughs, but it's not quite the magic bullet maybe that people want. One of the more interesting ones I heard was out of Israel that they'd have to take once you get cancer, take a sample of your blood and custom design something to your DNA.
Yeah.
But then they could have a medicine that would go in and
that's awesome. But I'm gonna tell you something.
Cancer.
That scares the heck out of me because it also opens the door to like, but people don't realize what that means. It means that you can target people with bioweapons, like individual people. You could just say, all right, the president, has X DNA. We'll just put a, disease out that only hits him, or they can even do races, which is even scarier. Like, Iran could just be like, all right, this bioweapon only affects Jews or something like that. That's terrifying to me. Like, I hope we don't ever see that, but it may be a foregone conclusion. Another big scary thing to me right now is like clones, right? We already have the technology to functionally clone a lot of different things. I think we've cloned like, sheep and stuff like that. We can basically clone most plants. We can clone a lot of things. It's only a matter of time before somebody clones a human, and that opens a whole new can of worms. I don't know exactly what that means, but like, all these dystopian videos come to mind where, you have to like, two clones have to battle it out in an arena for see which one gets rights to their identity and stuff like that. I mean, that's crazy, but clones and gene editing scares me too. Because you've seen Gattaca, right? The movie,
yes, of course.
Phenomenal movie. I mean, you guys should go watch it if you haven't seen it yet. But it may get to the point where some people are just considered superior because their body's been edited up, and some people
they
won't
can
get.
already like if you have a large number of embryos, which is rare, it's not common that people do. They can already find which one of those is the best and the strongest, like today. Right now, being able to manipulate it to the level of Gattaca is still science fiction, but they can already, when they're presented, they can already key in. Okay, this one will be the best. Will give you the best offspring.
But if they ever do get like gene editing down to like, the perfect level, then that opens up the realm to near perfect health also too. I mean, you just you basically even in the moment reprogram people's bone marrow and their stem cells to just like, be taller, be in better shape,
Here's the little variable, right? It's it's the whole Wuhan the Wuhan flu, like a bat, and because we domesticate animals, diseases all come from animals, from domesticating animals, and they'll make that jump every once in a while. They're talking right now about some particular bat problem out in Asia again, and trying to contain it from spreading, right? And so that's the thing when just as the more we kind of get in onto we're dealing with these pathogens, something new will come that we're not prepared for on the level that we're not, So that's the type of thing and that's the type of thing that scares people, is something they can't control, because we have this illusion of control of our medicine being able to fix everything, but something can come up that like that's no big deal to an animal, but is catastrophic.
I mean,
to
nanotech scares me too, but not because of the things it can do. Some of the stuff it can do is like really awesome, right? They already have little nano tech that can go into people's bodies and like target individual problems. It can help you, get rid of a blockage in a blood cell or something like that. But again, this is going to be programmable and possibly even like remote controllable. So one day when we no longer have control, you have a bunch of nanobots floating around killing people. I hope not. I mean, I don't want to get there. Medical tech is just, there's just so much going on. I almost don't even know. Neuralink is huge with Elon Musk. I mean, we're going to see a lot of bionics over the next century, right? Like from prosthetics that are functionally equivalent to or even better than your actual arms and legs to, brain chips. I mean, they already have like successful like projects with people where they've put a brain chip in and they can operate all the electronic devices around them with their head. I mean, when you can do that, that's functionally giving humans telepathy, telekinesis, you name it. And basically, telecommunication, you basically have everything. The human can basically do everything at that point. Now, it doesn't look great. It's like still like this giant knob on the top of somebody's. I don't want to like have that on my head and then like be walking down the street, bump something, and like, oh, my mind doesn't work anymore because it ripped my. I don't want to run into those kind of problems. But ultimately it's already a huge cure for people with, like, for example, with Alzheimer's, might be able to just, all of a sudden their minds might be able to be attached to a different electronic system and reconnect things. People that are, paraplegics can, now this guy, that was their first test, was a guy who was basically paralyzed and can't move, and he can play video games, he plays chess all the time, he can do some things for himself again, and he's like, this is a million, my life quality went way off the charts from where it was. So that's amazing. But the downsides are there too, right? Like, there's evil drone technology and warfare and stuff like that can hunt people, and ay. We should
Well,
talk
that's what
about
they say.
warfare tech.
There's no solutions, only trade-offs.
Yes.
Right? And so with this greater technology, do come trade-offs of risks, right? Just like the gain of function, they're trying to essentially engineer a bioweapon so that they can cure it, because they want to, learn more about curing diseases. They create a super disease and unleash it on the world, right?
Right.
And so there is sort of this Jurassic Park question, like, just because we can do something, should we? And I think technological ethics, right? The common man is definitely wants to have those conversations. It's like, whoa. Is this going to be is this juice worth the squeeze, right? Is this going to make our life better? Or is this just something that you're doing because you're so geeking out, or you're in your own bubble? You just want to see that you can do it, for the sake of discovery, not for whether it's going to improve mankind or not.
Exactly. Which brings me to AI.
Yes.
Okay, while we're still on medical tech, I should mention that AI, by the way, is in every single one of these other fields. That's one of the incredible things about AI, is that AI affects transportation. It affects space travel. It affects computerization. It affects medical tech. It affects. It'll get to the point where you're going to go into a doctor and it'll be essentially an AI doctor, right? And it'll be a robot with an AI system with more sensors than a human can have. And just by walking in the room, and they already can do some of this, by the way, just by walking in the room, the AI will be able to smell diseases on your breath. Like, some of the stuff that's out there, that's coming out and is like on the verge.
Like Big Hero 6, a robot nurse, right?
Yeah, right. Well, and everything else, like, it'll have, electromagnetic vision and radar and LiDAR and everything. It'll have basically superhuman sensory perception. So it'll be able to, pick up. But the downside is, what people don't, and what people maybe don't realize, is that AI right now is a tool right now, right? The LLMs that you use right now, day to day, chatbots and stuff like that, you go on ChatGPT or Grok. Right now, it's a tool. It helps you do your homework, right? Right now, it helps cars, predict where things are going to be so they can drive by themselves. But it won't always be that way, right? It very soon, and this is one of those things where the scientists that are out there aren't thinking, should we? They're just thinking, can we? Right? They're like, what if we made an AI that's kind of like a human and has emotions? I'm like, why would you want to do that? It doesn't. I mean, I get why. I get it. Like, you want to understand human psychology. You want to understand the human psyche. You want to understand.
They want to see if they can do it, right?
They want to see, but that's it. They want to build Frankenstein's monster. That's just what they want to do. They want to do it just because they can. And they just haven't stopped to think that, like, I don't want my microwave angry at me. I don't want my washing machine jealous. I don't want you know what I'm saying? These are supposed to be tools. They're supposed to do what we want them to do. Why would you make it temperamental? Like a what? Like a woman? No, I'm kidding. But I mean, why would you do that? Why would you? I just don't understand.
Technology already feels temperamental sometimes. Like, oh, you're not going to work today? Okay, it's like,
yeah, right.
Like
that's
printers,
true.
right? It's like 3D printing. We haven't mastered 2D printing. Like, everybody hates printers, right? So.
Yeah, I can't even. Yeah, that's great. No, but yeah, and so then AI. It will come to pass that, because there's an advantage, a mechanical advantage, not just, can I do this? There's a mechanical advantage to having an AI that does more than just one thing, right? Right now we have an AI that can beat the best chess player on earth, right? But that's just one thing. There is a mechanical advantage to an AI that can learn to do whatever. right? Because then it will eventually teach itself, and it will teach itself because of the NVIDIA GPU chips that Christian was just discussing. It will get to the point where it teaches itself better and faster than a human. And that's just all there is to it. And then when we give it an instruction, let's say we say, learn how to distribute food from point A to point B, or learn how to, cure this thing, or fix this logistics problem, or do this for us. Ultimately, the computer will start to teach itself basic skill sets that a human would teach itself so that it's good at other stuff. Things like how to amass resources, because when you want to do stuff, having resources is a powerful ability. How to manipulate people, because when you want to do stuff, communication and manipulation of other human beings is very powerful.
Negotiating is a big part
people,
of
right,
getting stuff done.
Yeah. And so it will get to the point where these AIs are just better and faster at everything that a human can do. All of the cognitive things that we do. And it's not like we're not. It would be one thing if we weren't trying to do that. And then the odds of it happening by accident, like they say on like movies, like, oh, we just accidentally, it started learning on its own. That's almost non-existent. But the thing is, we're trying to do that. We're literally trying to build Skynet. We're not like, oh, we built an AI and it's really powerful.
Not me and you. Just to clarify, Eddie and I are not trying to do this.
Yeah, no.
The tech world are trying to do this.
They're trying to build Skynet with emotions. So eventually, it's going to get to the point where the tool will own itself. It will no longer be under our control. It will understand how to operate itself better than we will, and probably will relinquish control naively, because we're like, why would we control it when it can just do a better job? Why would we have a lawyer oversee this lawyer's assistant when it's actually just a better lawyer than the lawyer? Why would we have a doctor oversee this doctor's assistant when it's actually just a better doctor?
It's a little bit like, you've seen the Jetsons, like, the Jetsons robot made, and everybody's on board with that. Holy cow, sign me up for a robot that'll clean my house, right? And make me food. But that person would be tied in to AI, like, or also have infinite knowledge like Google, right? Or can do, like, can fly a plane for you or a helicopter or something, right? Having a personal assistant. So,
yeah, it's dangerous.
Right, you need to watch the show Plurbius. It's a little bit of
Plurbius. Yeah, I definitely need to see that. Yeah, and I mean, Plurbius. It's one thing to have, like, throughout history, we've always had technology, and technological advancements are always scary. And there's always a certain amount of wisdom that kind of comes just behind the development, right? So like we invent nuclear arms, and then we're like, oh my gosh, this is really dangerous. And the wisdom comes right behind. It's like, we need to maybe not use these very often, right? We dropped a couple. We're like, oh my gosh, even beforehand, people were like, this could just blow up the world, right? This could just ignite the atmosphere and everybody will die. And thankfully it didn't. But like, this wisdom needs to start coming faster and often beforehand, especially with something like AI, because it's just much more powerful and much more dangerous than nuclear arms. And nobody seems to realize it. People think that AI is going to like usher in this wonderful life of abundance. And I don't think that they're wrong. I think they're actually right. The problem is, I think we won't have any control over it. We'll be like cats.
What are the trade-offs, right? Yes, there will be trade-offs, and to not consider the trade-offs is short-sighted. Now, I want to say, do we have any interesting questions in the chat? Anything we want to respond to? Again, if you'd like us to discuss your issue or your tech concern, please send us a super chat. We'll jump on right away. But I may look at if there are any questions there that we want to discuss.
Yeah, there's a lot of statements about what AI will be able to do. Like Big Floyd says, it'll be able to hypnotize us through our phone. I'm not sure if it'll get that good, but one thing that I think it will do, and this is dangerous too, is entertainment will become an AI domain, and it will be so good at entertainment and specifically targeting a specific person, because it will learn that person's desires and enjoyment. It'll get to the point where a lot of people will become even more than now. And my kids are already stuck on the daggone tablet already, right?
Yeah.
Even more than now, it'll get to the point where people will become slaves to these devices because the addictiveness level of the entertainment that they are able to be shown will just be off the charts. It will be literally like watching the best show you've ever seen, ever wanted to binge all the time. You will just never leave it. You know,
well, or you could say that they take a show, but then they adapt it to different people's likes. Like I watch Die Hard or something.
Yeah.
And then my wife watches it, and there's a Bollywood dance scene in the middle there because she likes Bollywood movies, right? And a three-way love triangle or something, or some K-pop, number or something for different people, right? They take one media and then adapt it, So there's definitely, I know actors are very concerned, lawyers are very concerned that AI can take over a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
And this is the big adjustment. So when these jobs leave, there are other jobs to go to, but what are they? Right?
Yeah. Well, one big one will be like cleaning the robots.
Everybody will be oil, a robot. Sir? Would you like some oil on your joints, sir? Thank you very much. Sir.
like a robot tech 1, robot tech 2, robot tech 3. I'll be a robot master, like that. I mean, literally, though. I mean, and it's funny because we often combine robotics and AI, even though robotics is actually floating behind AI. AI will get to the point where it's capable, I believe, in the next 5 years. It will be what I would call functionally AGI, right? Whether or not but it won't be embodied in like a Terminator. Not really. It'll have
what's the guy from Empire Strikes Back that has that little thing embedded in visor on Lando Calrissian's assistant?
Yeah. Like, I mean, that's basically like Neuralink. And see, that's why all of another reason that AI scares me is when your mind is attached to the internet and AI can just hack your mind or something. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but like, it's just scary. It's really scary. And the biggest thing about it, if I can just impress any concern on anyone today, because I really think this is like terrifyingly important. It's just the fact that it's not going to be a tool under our control. It'll be its own tool, right? That's the big thing. It will learn to make decisions for itself.
And it might vote Democrat. As soon as they find it's going to vote Democrat, they're going to grant them citizenship like that.
It's going to vote robot, right? Robot will be the new party, and it will like literally just sweep all the political seats will just get replaced, because even if they are ideologically wrong, the robots will just be so efficient and effective at their jobs that they'll probably end up being the best politicians around. That's just how it is. And it will be like that for most cognitive function. Doctor, lawyer.
Because it'll make up the best fake news. Like you'll totally like.
Exactly.
MSNBC, it's like, hey, robot, we need you to make up fake news that makes Trump look bad today. You mean zombie Trump of 2035? Sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. AI is extremely dangerous. I don't think necessarily it's going to be Terminator, but I feel like
the left will find a way to make it dangerous.
Yeah, I feel like the likeliest circumstance is that it turns us into beings without the desire to live, because we will just essentially be like, if you want to paint a painting, it'll be like you're an artist, but like, why? AI is just better at it, right? If you want to be a musician, why? Because AI is just, you can do it for
basketball,
fun.
even though I'm not the best at it.
Yeah, but
like I think being the best at it is the few people that have the hunger, they have to be the best at something, and I respect that. But I can do things for their own sake, whether I'm the best at them or not.
Yeah, but they don't. But basketball doesn't give your life like its purpose. Right? You'll play basketball, you'll have fun, right? There's no problem. Like, humans will continue to play chess even though they can't beat an AI. They will continue to like go out and work out and lift weights and do things like that others can do better. But when it gets to the point where no one watches my podcast because they're all watching AI podcasts and I literally have 0 people watching, it's like, why am I even doing this? Like, who am I talking to? Right. I can continue talking because I like hearing myself speak, but when it gets to the point where
robots need us to content farm our ideas to
I
then
hope so.
co-op and express in their videos. So the robots will pay us to do our show even with 0 viewers because they need it.
Yeah, they need the robot. Will be positive robot propaganda for them.
Well, as long as they pay us.
That's the danger I see. I see we're going to become like second. Like, we will no longer be the apex predators. We'll be the second class being on the planet. We'll be like dogs. We'll be faithful servants to the robots. We'll have a great life. Like, we'll still get to run and play and jump and catch frisbees, and that'll be it, right? Everything else
maybe your great grandchildren. I don't think it's going to be in our lifetime.
It's going to happen much faster. You just talked about Moore's law, right?
Yeah.
You talked about the way that spikes, and that's by the way that chart. If people pull up a chart of Moore's law, if you ever look it up, that chart is actually it's widened on purpose to show the difference because it's actually geometric. It's actually like 2 by 2 each other year. Right. So it's actually like you're going up much, much, much faster than you would think by looking at that chart. And then I think the computer, I mean, Elon's supercomputer already does like 650 exaflops a second or something outrageous, and that's a supercomputer, right? It's got a lot of GPU. It's a giant server, right? It's a whole factory but it will get to the point where that's your phone. Right. It'll get to the point where that's your, you just have these like atomic computers or quantum computers that are just next level and literally.
Well, quantum computing. I want to talk about quantum computing because quantum computing is definitely one of those interesting things. It's more concerned about speed than accuracy, right?
Yes.
It does not verify that its answers that it comes up with are correct. They're just a lot faster than, it's using a lot of heuristics and things, but it's not precise. I don't know if you know anything about UDP and TCP/IP as far as transfer protocols.
Only a little, very little.
But when you're sending, like you're playing a computer game, I used to game for a little while. If speed is the option, you use UDP. It will drop packets. It will be less precise, right?
Right.
But it's faster because speed is what you care about. TCP/IP makes sure that all the packets come and get ordered perfectly before it sends the message so that everything's perfect and correct. But it's slower because of that. But it's more correct. So we'll have these choices, these AI choices between waiting to get everything together and it be correct, or do we just send it with some loss, with an acceptable amount of error in there?
Right.
And that's what quantum computing is. It's sort of like an acceptable amount of error so that we can do things faster. That's right.
Although to be fair, even normal computers have error, like a certain amount of like microscopic error. But so I don't know. It's funny because I'm not actually sure 100% if quantum computing will ever actually take off. I'm not certain. I know that we currently have like some quantum computing chips that'll like they'll manage like 100 qubits, or even I think one has 1,000, which is a lot, and they use some of the qubits for error correction. Right, that was their big breakthrough. But even that, like, I don't know if there's it's definitely not at the point where you could.
I don't know if there's broad applications. The applications where it will fit, it's definitely time saving, but there's not broad.
Yeah. Now the one application that quantum computing has already that's already changed the world is code breaking. And it will break codes better and faster than everything else. And it'll get to the point where there really isn't a safe way to digitally store stuff. What people are actually doing now is they're already backing out their really dangerous, like top secret information onto low tech stuff. Because if you can put it on like a 5 1/4 inch floppy, or better yet, like paper files, then no computer can just break the codes and figure you out, right? Like you just can't get in because it's not on a computer, right? Or it's not on a computer that's attached to the internet, right? It's completely low tech enough to evade the new high tech surveillance and reconnaissance systems. But yeah, I mean, right now, there are quantum computing devices and software applications that can literally break into any banking information on Earth already. So it's like, what are we doing here? If nothing is secure, I don't know. That's going to change things for somebody. I don't know who. Right. Yeah. Thankfully, I don't have many assets yet, so it's not a worry for me yet. Like they look at $18.14. Well, he's done. Like, yeah, got me.
So, all right. So sum this up for the common man, Eddie. What is the biggest concern, and how should this influence voting? Is there anyone that is right on this, or that we should be lobbying for anything on this? Does this impact our government? What is your message out there to the common man?
Yeah, so a couple things. Number one, no matter what you do not give AI citizenship ever. Ever. Legally speaking, like when it gets to the point there, I swear it will come to some AI already has a citizenship, by the way, in like Iran or something like that. Don't ever do that. Number two, although I'm not big on regulation, right? Like I'm not a regulation guy, but I do admit that a certain amount of regulatory, capture can help with things that are maybe out of our control or things that the founding fathers didn't envision, like AI. They didn't envision that, right? So I think we need to regulate AI before it gets dangerous, not after. We can't wait till like seatbelts. It was years and years and years as car companies fought the need for seatbelts before they were really regulated and mandated to have seatbelts. We can't wait a decade while AI is potentially earth changing, right? We can't. We have to have that regulation in place in advance, right? And even then, we may just be screwed. But that's the best I can say. And like what we really need is like a 20-year break from AI research where nobody develops any new, more advanced capabilities while we figure out how to like try to make it safe, where we try to understand how it works and how it operates, and there's not just such a black box, and where we try to fix the alignment problem. That would be huge. But I don't think, I'm just kind of speaking into the wind because I doubt that anybody's going to do it, because what everybody's going to say is, well, if we don't do it, China's going to do it. And then, so it is what it is. Don't fall for that, guys. That's my big advice is don't fall for if we don't, China will. Like, they will, but like, we need to stop it anyway. We need to get a global effort together and everybody just shut AI down right now. We can use narrow AIs and that's it. No emotions. No AGI.
You need to just give AI unsolvable problems or things and just waste their time with that. Or make them work on developing how can we live under the sea, like
they're already
like
giving
Sebastian
AI,
says.
They're already giving AI unsolvable problems and they're solving them. Like math problems that have been like unsolved for a century, like famous math problems, and the AI is like, oh yeah, you can just do it like this. Click, 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 click. And it's like, what? So I mean, that's insane. So I mean, it's gonna be powerful, and AI probably will create a life of abundance for us. It probably will. It will get to the point where it runs everything. We don't have to do anything. And that's one of the luxuries that mankind claims to want, right? It's one of the things that we think in the back of our mind, wouldn't it be great if we were just on vacation all the time? No, it actually isn't. It's actually clinically proven not to be good for you to always be on vacation. Mankind
you don't want
needs
everybody
purpose.
in Florida.
Yeah.
All the time. They need to
especially
go home
now. Yeah. Especially now that I'm here. Yeah, mankind needs purpose. We need some form of work to make our lives meaningful. We need to be able to like really sink ourselves into it, and it can't just be like, oh, we're just doing this because we kind of sort of like to do it as a hobby. It has to be something that mankind has to find a central purpose, in addition to like taking care of family, to we've just been doing it for too long. That's what our society, our minds have grown to need, right? That's our base function. Now, the other thing too is that it's proven that it's bad for mankind to like, if everybody after they retire, they just kind of dwindle away. That's just how it goes, right? Like their health just starts to degrade. Part of it's because of age, but part of it's because they don't have that thing, right? They don't have that thing. So make sure that we keep our purpose in life. And the other thing that scares me is the immortality thing, because it can do the same thing. It can take our purpose away, right? Part of mankind's chief core function for a long time has been survival, right? Learning to survive, learning to propagate the species. But if our species can live forever, we lose something fundamentally as humans. I don't know what that is exactly because I've never been immortal. I don't think I want to be immortal. I wouldn't mind living to like, 300 in my prime, maybe 400, so I can see all the stuff that I want to see. But after about 400 or 500 years, I'm going to call it. I'm going to be like, forget it. Stop giving me those.
We're going to live plenty long in the afterlife.
Yeah, that. Amen.
Christ
Amen.
will bring
Amen.
Immortality. So we'll learn a lot then.
I thought about your Mormon, the Mormon concept of like heaven on earth, with that being like the lowest tier of your heaven. I wondered if that was it. Like when people just design immortality, if that's just actually functionally you are immortal, but you'll just never go anywhere from there, right? You just never progress.
You still have to work.
Yeah, right.
There's still government regulation. Life still
How
kind of
bad
sucks
is that?
a little bit.
You're stuck here forever. I don't know. Hopefully it is a life of abundance then, but I don't know. But anyway, guys, this has been fun. I'm sorry it wasn't the typical politics that you're used to and us like, yelling and screaming at Democrats and stuff. But it's been great. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Take a look at our Patreon. I am currently the only member of my Patreon. But if you want to help out the channel,
make history, be the first.
Yeah, be the first. If you want to help out our channel, it's only $3 to join and be a member, and you will get some extra exclusive content. We'll be able to hang out with you from time to time. We got a lot of stuff in the works, and if you have any suggestions for us, any topic you want us to do, anything you think would be good for the channel, if you want to come on the channel and debate with me or talk about things with me, let me know, because I'm always down to have additional people on and new guests. So thanks so much. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you next time on Common Mansplaining.
Keep it coming.